from a lovely week in Scotland, and I thought I would share what I got up to, where we went, what we did, and I really hope you enjoy it. We started off our week in Edinburgh. We stayed in the Dragon Suites, which was a weird last minute find, which turned out to be very nice. The location of this apartment was super central. We could walk everywhere really easily. Then after we checked in, dropped our bags, we headed out into Edinburgh, had a wander around the city in the evening. It is such a lovely city to just walk around, and every corner I just kept going, wow. So many amazing buildings, and honestly I don't think anything can beat that first night of a holiday when you arrive somewhere, you drop all your bags and you just go out and explore. We spotted a Five Guys, and we have a bit of an obsession with Five Guys at the moment. So we went in and shared a milkshake and had some free peanuts. So we had that as a little pre-dinner treat. Then we went to M&S, picked up some food for dinner, and we made a little curry. They had everything we needed in this apartment to cook, which is amazing. The next morning we got up and ready for a day of exploring. We started off at the Palmerston Bakery, and these pastries were next level. They were so delicious. I had a pain au chocolat. Josh had, I think it was chocolate and custard. Don't know what they call it, but it was very good. And we both loved the amount of space there was in the cafe. There were really nice high ceilings, plenty of seats, so I'd highly recommend going there. Then we wandered up towards the castle and realised that it was rammed with tourists and there were no tickets for that day, so we didn't go around the castle. So instead we headed down the hill towards the National Galleries. That was really nice, just free to walk around. They also had like a modern art gallery across from that. After the gallery, we headed out into the rain. I find Scottish weather pretty hilarious. It will be chucking it down with rain for 10 minutes and then suddenly the sun will come out. And it's all forgotten. As we were heading up the hill, we popped into Stills. Believe they have developing things in the back. I don't really know. But they also had one of these old-fashioned photo booths. So we took the opportunity to take a cute little picture together. They're £7 each, not the cheapest, but they're very nice to have for a little memory. And when we were there, a bride and groom came in who'd just got married and took a picture in the photo booth, which was very sweet.
There's a small mortgage and photographs.
Right next door to that was a vintage shop. I tried on this leather mini dress, which did not do up at all. But then I tried on this gorgeous, very pale pink cotton dress, which I just thought had the most interesting shape and construction, so I picked that up. Here's a great example of the weather we had, raining, and then straight into sunshine, like 5 minutes later. So we headed down the hill and up towards Arthur's Seat, and I thought, yeah, I can climb that, that's fine. And I could, but I didn't quite realise how tall Arthur's Seat was. Plodded on up. Josh was very patient, waiting for me to catch my breath. And my God, was it windy up there. People were being blown down. We then made our way down. I said hello to every dog I saw on the way down, and we took some more videos for this weird head turning video I wanted to do on Instagram. So every now and then I was stopping Josh saying, we need to film this, which he loved, obviously. We found a deep fried Mars bar. I don't know why. I've always thought it would be disgusting, but obviously it was just going to be nice because it's a chocolate bar and it's deep fried. What's not to like about that? We nipped back to the apartment, got dressed for dinner, and made our way to the artisan pasta maker. I had done a little bit of research before this trip, and I was trying to find the best restaurants to go to. The ones I really wanted to go to were closed on the days we were there, which was very sad, but gives me an opportunity to go back. I'd heard good things about this place. I rang up, a guy with a very thick Italian accent answered, so I booked a table and it was amazing. The pasta was so good. One of the dishes was a deep fried gnocchi, and the other was like a beef ragu in little parcels. Oh, it was amazing. So we shared both of those. I could have had everything on the menu. It all looked so good. And then we waddled home, and that was the end of that evening. The next day we walked up to Leith. I would recommend not bothering walking to Leith. It's not the most picturesque walk. We should have just got the tram. But we had a nice breakfast and then we headed over to the Royal Yacht Britannia. And I wasn't expecting to want to go on this or enjoy it, but I loved it. I don't know if Josh loved it so much, but he humoured me and we went on. There's something I love so much about boats and the furniture and seeing all the little rooms inside. I think it's a bit like a real life doll's house, like a life-size doll's house. That's what it feels like to me. I loved all the chintz retro furniture going on, all the wood panelling. It was a really nice tour, and they give you these little handsets that you can listen to bits as you go around, and I love when they do that. I hate having to stand and listen to someone talk about something because I just want to move on, and you can't do that when someone's there. So I would recommend it if you're up in Edinburgh. It was a nice little activity to do. This room's interior was my favourite. I loved the floral sofas. I wouldn't have the floral sofas, but I can appreciate them. And I love the warmth of the wood on the windows and the pink curtains. It just amazes me how much they fit onto these yachts. We then headed to the famous Lannan Bakery, which we were going to go to for breakfast, but the queue was down the road, so we just said, no, we're not waiting in that. And then we came back at lunchtime and there was pretty much no queue. We got some delicious bits for lunch. We got some focaccia and this little tomato tart, which was very good. We went and sat in the park opposite the castle, so we had the view of the castle. And the sun came out, so it was a perfect little picnic lunch. Verdict?
It's good.
You look very handsome in the sunshine.
Trying to hit on me?
Yep. After lunch we stopped off at the National Portrait Gallery, which is also free to walk around. There were some exhibitions you had to pay for, but we just didn't go into those ones. It was in a really amazing old building, so we just spent some time walking around there, and then we went and did a few little shops that were near our apartment because we were going to pick up our bags and hit the road. The first place we stopped off at on our journey were the Falls of Barra, and these were amazing. Definitely worth a stop off, just off the A9, and just beautiful. So we had a really great evening walk around there, and then we stayed in a slightly dodgy hotel, so I won't be recommending that one. The next morning we headed to the Cairngorms National Park, and we found a really nice walk to do on the All Trails app. Josh was busy picking me flowers, which of course I enjoyed. This was probably one of my favourite parts of the trail. I love where the water is really calm and still, and there's just so many beautiful things around. But we started to head up the mountain, and we came across this loch that we kind of knew was en route, and we met someone the day before who told us that we have to go here. It was just a really good walk, lots of interesting things to see along the way, some gorgeous wildflowers, so many foxgloves. They're so beautiful. And my new favourite flower, well, it's not really flower, it's grass, is cotton grass. I just think it's so sweet. It looks like little fairies dancing around in the grass. We made it to the top. We carried along the other 3 or 4 or 5 ridges. I can't remember. It was long. And then we headed back down into the foresty area and headed back. So it was a really nice circular walk. We had a sandwich packed with us, which I was very happy to see. On our drive back, we stopped at Loch Morlich to dip our feet in the loch, which was really nice after you've been walking all day to have that icy cold water on your feet. And then I didn't want to get sandy feet, so Joshua carried me into the car. Thank you. That doesn't look real. That evening we'd booked to stay in Glenlivet, so we found something interesting we could go and do in the evening, and we found this amazing bridge, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce. It was quite midgy this night. That was the only time I really noticed the midges this time in Scotland. But usually I go to the west coast, and apparently the midges are worse on the west coast. So we had a really gorgeous golden hour moment there, and it was just so insanely beautiful. And then we arrived at our little wigwam for the evening, and I got way too overexcited by it. It was just a little hut tucked away in the trees, fairy lights everywhere, and it had everything we needed inside. It had obviously a bed, shower, bathroom, little kitchen, table. It had a sofa in it. It was very impressive. Highly recommend this place. I would love to go back there. I ended the day having my legs above my head because my feet were sore. On our mega drive back home, we went past Braemar Castle, and then we stopped at Clamis Castle, and we walked around the grounds and the gardens, and they were really beautiful. And then finally, we saw some Highland cows right at the end of our trip. And that was the end of our little Scottish adventure.